I'm Sensei Alex Kakuyo, North American Correspondent for Buddhistdoor Global. Thanks for joining me this evening for The Ordinary Buddhist. The title of today's talk is A Doorway to a Better Life. Before we get into that, please subscribe and hit the notification bell. That way you'll be notified when I post talks in the future. If you wouldn't mind hitting the like button, that'd be great too. So, spring is here, and as a result, we're engaging in lots of work around the homestead that we weren't able to do over the winter, either because we didn't have the parts or because the weather was so bad that it wasn't safe to do the work. So there's basic carpentry and electrical work that needs to be done, fences that need to be repaired, etc. But one job that sticks out in my mind in particular was the replacement of the door to our chicken run. So as you know, we have 6 chickens that live on the homestead with us. And they have their coop, but they also have a run that gives them access to the outside world. However, the run is enclosed with chicken wire and a variety of other things, both around the edges and over the top, so that while the chickens are out enjoying the sunshine and scratching for worms, no foxes or hogs or feral cats can make them a meal. So it's a very good, very safe place for our chickens. However, that run keeps out people as well as predators. Now, we have a door that leads to the run, but it got damaged during a windstorm over the winter. And because we didn't have the parts, because the weather was bad, I had to finagle some things in the short term in order to keep the chickens safe. I had to zip tie things down, stack up some cinder blocks, put chicken wire over certain places, and as a result, again, predators were kept out, but it became very difficult for human beings to get in to change their food and water. In fact, it got to the point where I was the only one who could do it because I was the only one who understood the 4, 5, 6 steps necessary to get in and out safely. Recently, however, we fixed this and I replaced the broken door frame and all the parts I put in front of it with a new working door. So it simply opens and closes as you'd expect and has a lock to keep the predators out. Easy peasy. And I was shocked the first couple days I used it, even though I'm the one who installed the door, and how much easier it made my life. It used to take 10 minutes just to get inside the chicken run to feed and water the animals. Now I can do the whole job in 10 minutes because I'm not fighting with a broken door any longer. Our spirituality works in exactly the same way. It is a doorway to a better life. And that life, funny enough, is the exact life we're living right now. We simply approach it in a different way. In other words, we all have things we do throughout the day because they just need to get done. We have a job we go to, we have family members we deal with, maybe we go into town and shop at stores and deal with the cashier who's always rude to us. And over time, we create these coping strategies for ourselves that aren't necessarily good or bad, but they may not be serving us any longer. They may be making our lives harder than they need to be. Through pertinent spiritual practice, however, we can learn which things serve us and which things don't. And we can make changes in our lives so that we approach things in a slightly different way. The task itself doesn't change, but our approach does. Our doorway into it becomes better, and as a result, our life becomes better. Maybe we smile at the cashier we don't necessarily like. Maybe we approach our job with a better attitude. Maybe we clean up around our home and turn it into a spiritual practice instead of just one more chore we have to get done before we can get to our Netflix. And as we do this, as we use our spirituality as a doorway into our own personal lives, they become easier. Our suffering becomes less, not because we're doing anything differently per se, but because we're approaching it in a different way. In the same way that my life feeding and watering the chickens became easier when I approached it through a better, unbroken door. So as we go through our lives, I encourage you to do this. Look at the things you're doing and ask yourself, could I be doing this differently? Could I approach this in a way that allows me to get the work done, but creates less suffering for myself and others? In this way, we will find all the little doorways that can make life better, not only for ourselves, but for the people around us as well. Amitabha.